We have two more speakers. So I just want to say one thing about the march. I know we had our marshals, but to point out that the vibe today, this is a peaceful protest. This is a celebration. Let's save the protesting for next time they try to cut off the database for the campaign. We can protest then. Right now, we want to build momentum and show support. So up next, I have Jeff as a super volunteer from New Jersey, right? The Sanders world. Here we go.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you to Kitty and Amanda and everybody else that organized this march today. Quite a few hundred people are here, and it's pretty cool to see us. Okay, let me start off with a high-speed history lesson. 1962, Bernie Sanders runs the very first sit-in in Chicago history against segregation in Chicago public schools. 1963, he runs another 2-week-long sit-in at the University of Chicago against segregated housing. Sits in front of the president's office for 2 weeks. He is arrested because he is an outside agitator. 1963, he marches on Washington with Martin Luther King for his I Have a Dream speech. Fast forward 19 years, he runs for mayor of Burlington, Vermont, wins by 10 votes in the biggest upset in Vermont history against a 6-time incumbent Republican by 10 votes. He is re-elected 3 times. He then is elected into the House 8 times. 8 times. Then he is now in his second term as a senator. 14 out of 15 of his elections he has won since 1981. Most of them in landslides, and I think that is sort of inevitable and electable. Okay, I never heard of Bernie Sanders before September. I never knew who he was. I found out about him on the news, so obviously I couldn't think that he was that great through the news's filter. I thought he was pretty good. Better than Hillary. Then I went onto YouTube, I did some research, I started to get intrigued by him. Then I saw him in the first Democratic debate, I started to really like him. Then I saw the Tucson rally on YouTube, I fell in love with him. Then I saw Thom Hartmann's endorsement of him where he compares him to FDR. I became an activist. And since that point, aside from my job and my family, my life is dedicated to getting Bernie Sanders elected president. I have never done anything politically active in my entire life. Nothing. And now my entire life is dedicated to him. I hold a phone banking party at my house every week. I train people to do phone banking on their own. I have donated a little too much money to Bernie Sanders. I take off of work, I work right across the street, I take off of work to teach people in Philadelphia and give them flyers to teach them. Flyers are just an excuse to teach people about Bernie Sanders. So I take off of work to do this. I give flyers to the cashiers at drive-thrus. I ask strangers on the train if they are feeling the burn. I have an issue. So the most important thing about Bernie Sanders, he does not accept money from billionaires and corporations. This is the foundation. This is the foundation of who this man is. This man cares about everyone, even rich people. This man tells the truth. And the only reason he can do this is because he doesn't accept money from rich people, from billionaires and corporations. If you accept money from billionaires and corporations, you can't care for people. You can't tell the truth. And this is the position that Hillary Clinton is in, correct? She takes money from billionaires and corporations, and she is in a position that she requires the votes of those who her policies will hurt. So she has no choice but to lie and to say things that will change over time. So, for example, you hear on the news that she's against the TPP, correct? But she's not against the TPP. What she actually said in the interview on ABC with, I think, Diane Sawyer, she did not say, I am against the TPP and I will work against the TPP to get it defeated. That's not what she said. What she said was, what I have learned about the TPP I don't like. Does that sound like I don't like the TPP to you? No, it doesn't. It's not I'm against the TPP. It's I'm going to say something so that everybody will interpret it as I'm against the TPP. But when I'm elected office, I'll do some small tweak and then turn around in the public and say, I did something huge and now it's okay. And now we can have the TPP, guys. It's all good. Bernie Sanders has been against the TPP from the very beginning. Bernie Sanders has been against NAFTA from the very beginning. Bernie Sanders has been against the Keystone Pipeline from the very beginning. Bernie Sanders has been against the Bakken Pipeline from the very beginning. Bernie Sanders has been against the war in Iraq from the very beginning. You know, it's sort of like a child. Will you do something wrong? Oh, I can keep doing something wrong, but as soon as I'm caught, I'm going to say, I'm sorry. Sounds like sort of like Hillary Clinton. She's against all these, she does all of these things, but as soon as she's running for president, I'm sorry, I'm against it. Right? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Okay, so, last thing. Bernie Sanders, when he finds the truth, he sticks to it. He just has, he's a magnet for truth. When he finds something that he believes in, he sticks to it. But on the other hand, he is an old dog who knows how to learn new tricks. Black Lives Matter interrupted his speech. He gave them the microphone. They wanted to say something. They weren't being listened to. They said it louder. Bernie Sanders listened to them. Even though he got frustrated at first and didn't handle it very well at first, he listened to them. And he continues to listen to them. He has an ongoing dialogue with these people, and now he has the most progressive, compassionate racial justice policy in American history. I love this man, and he is the first politician in my lifetime that is not the lesser of two evils. He is worth fighting for. He is worth voting for. Thank you.
All right. Should we try to warm it up with a chant? It's getting cold standing here. You guys good? This is an easy one.